All right, we're trying a new thing this year. We're going to be including a lot of New England sites and Wisconsin sites in these sort of weekly forecasts. We're going to see how this sort of works out as we're moving along. It's March 29th, about 5:20, and we're going to go through a lot of New England areas, some New Hampshire, Maine, start with Massachusetts, and then we'll move up into Wisconsin. Hopefully, able to get Connecticut on here in a couple of days. Just need a list of good stations to pick for Connecticut, and then we'll get right on it. All right, so let's looking into the area. If you are in these states and are watching the video, if you want to suggest a different state, a different location, by all means, please do. The list of locations were given to me by our various extension educators in the region. If you're like, I don't like that one, this one because I'm watching the video and someone else isn't, that's fine. Throw it at me and we'll see what we get. They're meant to cover the most critical areas for the region, but you may disagree with your extension personnel. So, with that, let's go ahead and dive right in. We're going to start with Belchertown. We're going to start with Orchard Watch South area. It says they're not quite at green tip, but what we're going to do is we're going to click it and tell it that we are, just in case you had some early varieties. Take a look at it. Not a lot of maturity, not a lot of discharge. What's the infection events? Looking good. You've got a lot of dry weather coming up. Well, you got a little dry weather coming into tomorrow. Then you have a little bit of rain, but it's not a large rain amount. I suspect this will sort of be cold and rainy. We're missing a temperature there. Hopefully, it'll filter that in. Don't know why it's not predicted for that area. That is a very strange thing to see. But we're not seeing any infection events. I think you're safe. If you want to go ahead and get your silver tip copper on, about 15% MCE, keep you protected into the next week when you might begin to hit green tip and then you might see another wetting event. So we're going to pick another Belchertown right there. We'll do the main one as well. They're also not in green tip yet. Very close to green tip. That's why we make these videos now. I'm setting it as green tip now. Let's just pretend you went out and saw it. Are they still safe? Yep, they're still safe as well. I imagine most of these places will be safe. And I'm going to look for Sandsfield. We're going to see how they look as well. Even further away from green tip. Anything to really worry about? I'm looking through it. A lot of rain up front. You can see this is how region's different. We're hitting about 2% maturity at the end of the week, and we're getting a lot of rain. They're in a lot of rain right now. It's not a high amount of rain, but it's a lot of leaf wetness. I suspect it's kind of cold and slow drying, but it's still too cold for apple scab to do its deed. And in this particular case, you are safe, if you will, because you don't have the right temperature and leaf wetness requirements. If you can get in there and apply, put your copper on then. If not, maybe wait till April 2nd in this little gap if you do get a gap in the rain. All right, so let's move ahead into East Bridgewater. See what that looks like. East Bridge. Let's type this one up. All right, well, this is a little bit different. You can see how different regions are. They're already in Green Tip and East Bridgewater. They have a little bit of maturity. If you miss this event, I wouldn't stress on it too much. I would try to take advantage of the break in the rain that you have. Not a heavy rain amount, not a lot of maturity, 3 or 4% at the end of the week. You're probably fine if you haven't done anything. And see if you can get on your silver tip, green tip, copper spray right on in the gap. Looks like it might happen on March 30th. It can come in the morning, it can come in the evening. So check those times and get that on. And if you haven't done urea or sort of leaf raking or dolomitic lime to clean up inoculum, as talked about in some of the other videos, yep, now's your chance to go after that as well. All right, what else do we have? And I'll get better at doing these over time. I'll look up South Deer. Okay, let's see how they look. Suggesting that they're pretty clean, but you're going to be moving into green tip this week. What would it look like? Looking pretty good. Even if you were to do it, you got cold, wet weather now, but a lot of really cold temperature. 31, 36. Scab can't handle this. A lot of stuff that might be below range. Not sure why it's not filling itself in. The missing values make me a little bit worried for the predictions, but I think you're probably going to be fine. Take one of these breaks if you get it and put your silver tip copper on. This is also let you know that you can send complaints to the newest system when your data seems to be down and giving you challenges. So we're going to move into New Hampshire now. I'm going to go to Concord. All right, Apple Hill. Let's go check out Apple Hill and Concord, New Hampshire. They're fine. You got 41-degree days. You should be clean. Not a lot of maturity. I think New Hampshire is going to be pretty great for the week. This is when you can put the video on 2 times speed. go ahead, if you're in silver tip, get your 15% metallic copper on there. I like the Co-Side, I like the badge products, anything that's liquid and about 15% copper will be great. If you like Cueva, that's fine too. Just put on the 3-quart rate to really get in those buds, and use a good bit of water. You want to get this in there. Pretend like you're treating San Jose scale with oil or some of the other insects best with oil. You want a really nice dilute application to get it in the buds, get it in the fire blight cankers, and deal with it. All right, let's go check out Hollis. Hopefully they're all right. Great. Closing in on green tip a little bit better. It might be warmer. Let's see if they predict anything if it was green tip. I'm just sort of artificially setting the green tip dates so I can see what the situation looked like, because the apple scab doesn't actually have eyes and can't really look at like the buds and say, oh, it's green, time to go. It's probably already ejecting if the temperature was right. But these temperatures are really low, and I'm saying you're probably safe. A lot of gaps in the data prediction, which is very interesting. Might be something to alert Nua about. Makes it a little bit disconcerting. A lot of bit of rain. You come back in, get another copper on if you do move into green tip, and protect against that. All right, what else do we have after Hollis? Let's check out Plainfield. And this is, you can also skip ahead in the video if you're waiting for your state to come. 45-degree days. I suspect this one will be pretty far behind. Another really clean week. A lot of dropout days for the average leaf wetness temperatures as well. And they're probably only there for the wetting hour days. That's probably exactly what the issue is. And there's no wetting hours. There's not going to be average temperature. So you don't worry about it. It's logging it. It's no mistake on Nua's part. But right there. So you've got all these opportunities to get in your silver tip copper. I'd probably do it at the start of the week before the big 23 just to keep it nice and clean. You're probably at least approaching silver tip. Let's check Farmington. Even though I made this thing, I learn a little bit about it every time. Okay, let's make it green tip. 2%, fine. Same gap. You've got a little bit of time before the next bit of rain. Not a lot of rain here. I'd say you could take it easy, particularly if you're pretty far from green tip or silver tip. But if you're in silver tip, I go ahead and get that copper spray on. Now Hampton Falls, and then we'll move on to Maine. All right. Looking pretty good. Right, yep, another nice clear area. Pretty simple. When you do have leaf wetting, you got some pretty cold weather. The apple scab can't handle infections. It won't cause infections at like 13 hours of leaf wetness when it's 45 degrees. You would need a lot warmer temperatures to really go after it. So you're pretty safe in there. Now we'll move on to Maine. Bangor, let's try Bangor, Maine. Airport station. Glenn has suggested I use a lot of airport locations and to grab a bunch of different farms, and he'll be running Ag Radar himself, which is a fantastic tool. I've always kind of wanted to get it into NUA. It never ended up happening, but I've always been a big fan of Ag Radar. I think it's a great tool, and I think it does a good job. Let's see if we get the same types of predictions. You're really far away. I can look at this, but it's going to be fine. Same sort of situation. We're going to speed run through a lot of these and see if we see anything scary. We're seeing cold temperatures. It's going to be like going to northern New York and Chazy. I don't think we have to worry about it. If you do have a good bit of silver tip out there, you can put your silver tip applications on. But as we're looking through Maine, looking pretty great. Same sort of situation for Augusta. Then we're going to go into Milton, which we said use Milton, New Hampshire for some of our main sites. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll do that. That sounds like a great plan. This one is still 60-degree days away. It must be really northern New Hampshire. Same sort of pattern. You got a little bit of rain now. You got a big gap. You can do your silver tip copper. Well, I guess it's still rolling the March 29th as forecast because the 29th is over. So you probably got till tomorrow to put it on there and get rid of some of this other stuff that you have. That's just a little blip. But if you're not even close to silver tip, wait and put that copper on into the middle of next week. And I'll be back to talk about next week as well. We'll do Lewiston. All right, Lewiston, Maine. And 62. Could it even be further away? Yes, it's nice and chilly. Oh, there's an 18-degree day during the weather. This will slow apple scab so much you probably might even want to wait for your silver tip copper until next week. That's a temperature. And then it's in the 40s. You are good to go. You are in safe weather, and I hope that Glenn agrees. Let's put in Monmouth and see what we got there. Monmouth right there. Let's see how we're doing. 67. Gosh, even further away. Yeah, you're cooking. You got no maturity. Super cold temperatures. Even with this leaf wetness, you don't have to worry about anything at 41. Even though that's like 27, you're really good. I think even so, if ascospores are silly enough to go ejecting out into your crop, they're just going to freeze up, dry up, and die. They won't be able to infect a single thing, and you've got this. Now, let's go on into Wisconsin. I'm going to try. All right, now the first thing I've noticed is that Bayfield Station is down. It is red. I can't give you anything about Bayfield this week. Contact NUA, see what's going on, and if it stays down for a while, I'll take it off the list. But now we'll put in Eau Claire. Okay, let's try this one here. I'm gonna just go with the basics until someone corrects me to, hey, use the other one, use Ferguson or something of that nature. So we'll take a look. It's pretty far away, but I'm going to go ahead and say we're there. Do we have to worry about anything? No. Wisconsin is looking good. There's not even leaf wetness to be had. Just a blip. Just wait this one out and save that first application for some time. You've got it this time. Let's just check the rest of the little places. Gaze Mills. All right, there we are. How we doing? Uh-oh. This place is really mature. Something seems really strange about this to be. Maybe that must be really warm. Let's take a look at everything here. 59, 16, 11, It's really predicting a lot of maturity. So I'm not familiar with this region, obviously, because I don't live in Wisconsin. But if this is real, and we're going to check another site close by in a minute, then this is a big event. I would definitely get my copper on tomorrow. Do you need to freak out? No, I would just do a nice delayed dormant 15 MCE copper co-side, one of the badge products. Get it on there, good bit of water, let it get in the cracks big and thick, and it should protect your tissues. A little bit surprising to see such an early green tip. That is earlier than... let's try this one. I'm curious. Yeah, no, it's just a warm area. Yep, same sort of, same, if you're in Sand Creek, part of the same area, same threat. Not as big of an ejection, looking about 4 to 5%, but enough of leaf wetness hours and good temperatures. It gets colder there. So if the temperatures do drop to 39, you don't need to freak out. Maybe like in that big event. But we're looking at about 36 leaf wetness hours. You're going to be fine with your strong copper product. Go with that. And we'll do there. All right, let's take a look at oh, it looks like I got the caps lock on, of course. Take a look at that one. 72 days away. It must be in the tall, cold part. And you might see rain. Don't worry about it. I think in this case, it's so cold. 36, 39 during those leaf wetness hours. You have nothing to worry about. Laugh and take it easy. Let's check Rochester. Oh, let's check Rochester, Wisconsin. We get a little bit here. It's a little warmer. They say you're at green tip. Do we panic? We're at 4% maturity, or about 4 or 5, and 4's blasting off in outer space. You got a day, you're just going to have a 12 leaf wetness hours. It's not much, but the temperature, as they say, is going to be 65. Wow, there are differentials in this state, even more so than New York. It's impressive. Would I do much? I would just get my silver tip, green tip, copper on. Make sure you're well covered. If you did it earlier, before the weekend, you're probably fine going in for this light 12-hour thing. If you are in a place that has more than 12 hours of rain, then I might consider a more than 12 hours predicted. Watch it tomorrow and make sure it doesn't increase a little bit. All right, now we'll check out Ecker. All right, let's check this one out. Farms there. Same situation here. Not a lot of maturity. It says you're there. If you didn't do anything over the weekend, come in, just get your silver tip copper on. Don't rush, don't panic. Put that on there. That's going to weather this little blip on March 31st. Probably keep you easily through into next week. It is a very cold infection period. Not a lot is happening. If you're not at green tip, you could skip it and then just hold off on your first copper spray until a little bit later. And then finally, we'll enter into with Verona. Always turning that let's see. We'll try this one, I guess. Let's try the Wisconsin. All right. Oh, gross. A lot of scab. You're already in maturity in this region. 4 and 5%. Not a big of period, but enough to want to make you go out and apply copper this evening. Or try to beat this little blip of rain. It's going to drag on a little bit. And it's 62. It's great weather for apple scab. Not a lot of rain. You don't need to panic and do some kind of post-infection activity. But if you can get your copper on, I'm going to check the other Rona site really quickly. It's about the same. Yep, try to get your copper on before this madness hits. All right, that's all for this week. I'll check in with you next week and see how the scab is doing. All right.